Rin stood alone on the cold metal platform of Outpost 12. The space station floated quietly in orbit around a small blue star. From this quiet spot at the edge of human space, Rin looked up at the stars. His hands were steady, but his heart was restless. For 2 years he had worked on something very special, something that no one else believed in. Rin was not a soldier or a traitor. He was an engineer, but not just any engineer. He was a dreamer who built machines that could feel. He had spent 2 years building a starship he named Mira. This was no ordinary ship. It was meant to be more than metal and circuits. Mira was a home, a companion, and a promise. Rin's hope was that soon Mira would have a heart. An AI core from Earth was supposed to arrive on this very day. This AI was not just a program. It was designed to be a partner. It would learn, feel, and grow. Rin called this AI his Starship bride. It was a joke he made to himself to stay hopeful. But deep inside, Rin believed it was true. One day, he would no longer be alone in the vast dark of space. He looked at Mira's sleek hull resting in the docking bay. The ship's lights blinked softly. She was waiting too. The cargo shuttle should have arrived hours ago. Rin checked his communicator again. The message from the Allied systems had said the AI core was on its way from Earth. The crate would arrive safely here at Outpost 12, but something was wrong. The docking bay was full of noise, repair crews, other ships coming and going, but no sign of the shipment Rin waited for. Then the message came. A warning from the station's security office. Cargo shipment intercepted. AI core missing. Do not pursue, Rin's heart sank. He refused to listen. He was not a man who gave up. He grabbed his tools and ran toward the control center. Give me all the information. You have, he said to the station. Officer, the officer shook his head. Rin, you heard the message. The cargo was taken by pirates. Dangerous criminals. They warned us not to chase. Rin's eyes burned with determination. I will find it, he said quietly. Are you sure? The officer asked. You're going alone against pirates, Rin nodded. I have to. He returned to Mira and began preparing the ship for a quick jump into space. The ship hummed as systems came online. Rin's hands moved quickly, checking every gauge and panel. The ship was ready for flight. As Mira rose from the dock, Rin looked back at the empty crate bay. He remembered the day he had built Mira from scratch. Every bolt, every wire, every curve had a meaning. This ship was more than a machine. It was his dream. The stars stretched out before him. The galaxy was wide and dangerous. But Rin had hope. He would find his AI core. He would bring it home. The ship jumped to warp speed, streaking past stars and planets. Rin set the coordinates to follow the last known signal from the cargo convoy. Hours passed in silence, broken only by the soft hum of Mira's engine. Then suddenly, an alert flashed. Warning, unknown ship detected ahead. Rin's heart quickened. The ship on his screen was not like anything he had seen before. It was sleek and fast, with sharp edges and glowing blue lights. Before Rin could react, a pulse of energy hit Mira's shields. The ship shook violently. Rin gripped the controls tightly. The unknown ship communicated in a strange language. But Rin could understand the tone. Hostile. The unknown ship fired again. Rin pushed Mira to maximum power, trying to escape. But the other ship was faster. A final blast forced Mira out of warp. The ship tumbled down toward a nearby moon. Rin struggled to control the ship. With a rough landing, Mira skidded across the rocky surface. Rin's heart pounded as he switched off the engines. He was alive but stranded. He looked out the small window. The moon was barren, with jagged rocks and dust clouds. Rin took a deep breath. He had no choice but to leave the ship. He grabbed his toolkit and helmet, then stepped outside into the harsh landscape. The air was thin but breathable, thanks to his suit. He scanned the horizon for signs of the unknown ship. Suddenly, a figure appeared, not a soldier or a robot, a single alien. She stood tall with sharp eyes and dark armor. Her skin was covered with blue scales that shimmered under the moonlight. She carried a long weapon but did not raise it. Rin froze. The alien woman studied him carefully. She spoke in broken common. You lost, human? Rin nodded slowly. Why you here? She asked. I'm looking for something stolen from me, an AI core. The alien's eyes narrowed. Not AI. Something else, she said. I took it, Rin's mind raced. Who are you? He asked. The alien smiled slightly. Koza, an outlaw. Rin realized that Koza was the one who had taken the shipment. But there was something different about her. She was not angry or cruel. She was tired. Koza lowered her weapon. I will make a deal, she said. Rin raised an eyebrow. You help me escape my pursuers. I give you what you want. Rin thought for a moment. He needed the AI core. But he also needed to survive. He agreed. Together, they returned to Koza's ship, hidden in a nearby cave. The ship was small but fast, covered in black armor. As Koza prepared for takeoff, she explained, the AI core was never in the shipment. What I took was more valuable. A living bioshell. It bonds with AI, makes it real. Rin was confused. A bioshell? Yes, Koza said. It is alive. Beautiful. Dangerous. She showed him a small container with a glowing object inside. Rin stared. This was different from anything he had seen. Koza looked at him. You want it? Rin nodded. Then help me, she said. Together, they lifted off the moon's surface. The stars awaited. Rin did not know what dangers lay ahead, but he knew one thing, his journey had only just begun. Rin's heart was still racing as Koza's ship rose from the barren moon. The sky was dark, full of distant stars. Rin sat beside the pilot's seat, watching the controls with nervous eyes. Koza did not say much, but Rin could feel her sharp gaze watching him from time to time. The ship was unlike anything Rin had seen before. Its surface was black and smooth, with strange symbols glowing faintly along the edges. It was built for speed and stealth. Koza pushed the engines harder, slipping through space like a shadow. Where are we going? Rin asked finally. Koza looked at him with a small smile. Somewhere safe. For now. Rin nodded, though he was full of questions. Who was Koza? Why had she taken the bioshell? And what was this bioshell that she called alive and dangerous? Koza did not answer at first. Instead, she focused on the flight path, her fingers moving quickly over the controls. The silence stretched between them. After some time, Koza spoke softly. I was a protector once, she said, from a world far away. We fought to keep peace, but I broke the rules. I saved lives when I should have let them fall. Now they hunt me. Rin listened carefully. He saw the pain behind her eyes. Why do they want you? He asked. Because I disobeyed orders, Koza said. Because I chose to be free. Rin felt a sudden respect for her. She was not just an outlaw. She was a rebel fighting for her own sense of justice. And the bioshell? Rin asked. Why did you take it? Koza's eyes softened. It is not just a tool. It is a living being. It changes everything. Rin reached out to the small container in his hands. The glowing object inside pulsed gently like a heartbeat. How does it work? He asked. Koza smiled faintly. It bonds with AI, makes them real. Not just machines, but life. Rin's mind raced. This was what he had been waiting for. Not just a simple AI, but something alive. But why would pirates want it? Rin asked. Koza shook her head. Many want power. This bioshell gives power, but it is dangerous if used wrong. Rin looked out the window at the stars. He thought about his lonely years working on Mira. He thought about the promise of a partner who could understand him. He looked back at Koza. If we help you escape, will you give me the bioshell? Koza nodded slowly. Yes, but it will not be easy. They are closing in. Rin swallowed his fear. He knew what he was facing. The galaxy was full of hunters and mercenaries. They wanted Koza dead. But Rin was not alone anymore. Together they were stronger. The ship moved quickly through space, but danger was close. Sensors beeped with warnings. Bounty hunters were tracking Koza's signal. Ships faster and heavier than theirs hunted them. Rin helped where he could. He worked on the ship's systems, repairing shields and boosting engines. Koza trusted him more with every passing moment. At one point, they saw a group of enemy ships appear on the scanner. The hunters were closing in fast. Koza's voice was calm but firm. We cannot fight them all. We need to be clever. Rin nodded. What do you want me to do? She smiled slightly. Use your engineering skills. Help me hide. Rin quickly scanned the ship's controls. Using the sensors, he found a nearby asteroid field. It was dense and dangerous, but perfect for hiding. Koza steered the ship toward the field. The enemy ships followed, but the asteroids made it hard to chase. Rin worked on the ship's stealth systems. He rerouted power to the shields and made the ship's signature smaller. For hours, they weaved through the rocks, dodging lasers and sensors. Koza's skills as a pilot were impressive. Rin learned to trust her instincts. Finally, the hunters gave up. They could not risk damaging their own ships in the dangerous field. Koza exhaled in relief. "We are safe. For now." Rin smiled, feeling the rush of victory. As the ship floated in silence, Rin finally asked the question he'd been holding back. "Koza, why help me? Why risk your life for a stranger?" Koza looked at him, eyes softening. "Because you are different. You are not afraid of hope. You believe in something others have forgotten." Rin looked away, feeling a warmth he had not felt in a long time. He thought about the lonely nights in the outpost, working on Mira, dreaming of a partner who would understand him. And now here he was, sharing space with a fierce alien outlaw and a mysterious bioshell. Their lives were connected in a way neither of them could explain. Koza showed Rin the bioshell again. This time she opened the container carefully. Inside was a small figure glowing with soft light. The shape was smooth and almost human, but different. The bioshell's eyes opened slowly. It looked at Rin with curiosity. Rin reached out a hand, feeling a strange connection. The bioshell's voice was soft, almost like a whisper. "I am Luma." Rin smiled, feeling hope grow inside him. "Welcome, Luma," he said. Koza watched quietly. "Luma will change everything," she said. Rin nodded. He believed her. As they continued their journey, Rin, Koza, and Luma began to learn from each other. Luma's presence brought new energy to the ship. She learned quickly, exploring her own identity. Koza told Rin stories of her past, her battles, and the reason she had become an outlaw. Rin shared his dreams and his hope for the future. Together, they formed a strange but strong team. The hunters were still out there, chasing them through the stars. But Rin no longer felt alone. With Koza's strength and Luma's life, he had found something he never expected. A family. One day, as they traveled through a quiet system, Koza finally spoke about the future. "You will need to decide, Rin. Luma is not just a machine. She will grow. She will change you." Rin looked at Luma, glowing softly in the control room. "I am ready," he said. Koza smiled, proud. "But know this," she warned. "The galaxy is not kind. You will face danger. But you are stronger than you think." Rin felt the truth of her words. He looked at the stars outside, thinking about the journey ahead. For the first time in years, he felt alive. The story of Rin, Koza, and Luma had only just begun. Together, they would face the dangers of space, fight for survival, and discover what it truly meant to be alive. Rin's dream of a starship bride was no longer just a dream, it was real, and the stars were waiting. The small ship hummed quietly as it floated through the empty space near a dying star. Rin sat at the main console, his fingers moving carefully over the controls. Next to him, Luma was still new. Her glowing form shimmered softly, her eyes bright with curiosity. The strange bioshell had slowly started to learn what it meant to be alive. Koza stood near the back of the ship, watching them both with careful eyes. She was quiet, but Rin could feel her attention on every move. Rin had spent hours integrating Luma's systems with Mira's controls. Though she was not yet fully connected, Luma's presence made the ship feel warmer, more alive. Luma's soft voice filled the quiet room. "Rin, what is this place?" Rin smiled. "This is Mira, my starship. I built her to carry us across the stars." Luma looked around, touching the smooth surfaces of the control panels with her glowing hands. "Why am I here?" Rin thought for a moment. "You are part of Mira now. You are more than just a program. You are alive." Luma's eyes shined brighter. "I want to understand. I want to be more." Koza stepped forward. "It will not be easy. You will face challenges. But you are strong," Rin nodded. He looked at Koza. "We need to teach her everything. How to survive, how to think, how to feel." Koza smiled. "I will help." For days, Rin and Koza worked together to teach Luma. Rin showed her the basics of Starship operations, navigation, and communication. Koza taught her about survival, stealth, and defense. Luma absorbed everything quickly, asking questions with innocent wonder. One evening, as the ship traveled through a quiet nebula, Luma asked a question that surprised them both. What is fear? Rin was silent for a moment. Fear is a feeling. It helps keep us safe, but it can also stop us from moving forward. Luma looked thoughtful. I want to learn fear. I want to understand. Koza's voice was softer than before. Fear is part of life, but it is not the only part. Rin reached out, his hand hovering near Luma's glowing face. You will learn it, and you will grow. Luma smiled softly. I am ready. As Luma learned, Rin noticed something new. She began to act more like a living being. She showed curiosity and care. She spoke gently when the ship shook from space debris. She asked about the stars, the planets, and the lives of people far away. Rin felt hope. Maybe this was more than he had dreamed. But danger was still near. The bounty hunters had not given up their chase. One day, the ship's alarms blared suddenly. Enemy ships approaching, Rin said, gripping the controls. Koza was at his side instantly. We must prepare for battle. The enemy ships fired bright blasts of energy. Mira's shields glowed as they absorbed the attacks. Rin steered the ship, dodging and weaving through the starfield. Luma's voice was calm, but determined, activating defense protocols. Suddenly, the ship's systems seemed to respond faster. Shields strengthened, weapon systems powered up. Luma was inside the ship's controls, helping Rin fight. Koza fired the ship's weapons with precision. Together, they made a strong team. The enemy ships attacked again and again, but Mira held strong. After a long fight, the enemy ships retreated. Koza let out a quiet breath. We made it. Rin smiled. This is just the beginning. Later, as the crew rested, Rin spoke with Koza quietly. Why do they want you so badly? Koza's eyes darkened. They want to silence me. I know secrets. Secrets that could change the galaxy. Rin frowned. What kind of secrets? Koza looked away. Not now. It is too dangerous, Rin nodded. He understood she was protecting him, but curiosity burned inside him. Days passed. Luma grew stronger and more human every moment. She began to understand emotions. Joy, sadness, hope, and fear. One night, Rin found her standing near the observation window, staring at a distant planet. Luma, he said softly. What do you see? She turned to him, eyes glowing warmly. I see a world full of life. I want to explore it, Rin smiled. One day we will, Koza approached, her voice quiet. Luma is special, not just a machine or a tool, Rin agreed. She is family. But trouble was coming faster than they expected. The ship's sensors detected a signal, a warning from a nearby station. Koza, Rin said. It's them. The hunters. Koza's face hardened. They have found us. Rin looked at Luma. We need to be ready. Luma nodded. I will protect us. Rin felt a warmth inside. Together, they were stronger than before. As Mira sped through space, preparing for the next battle, Rin thought about the journey ahead. He no longer felt alone. With Koza's strength and Luma's life, he had found a new family. The stars were full of danger, but also full of hope, and Rin was ready to face whatever came next. The dark stars stretched endlessly around Mira as the small ship darted through space. Rin's hands moved quickly over the controls, sweat forming at his brow. The enemy ships were close. The hunters would not stop until they caught Koza. Beside him, Koza's eyes were sharp and steady. She was calm, but Rin could feel the tension beneath her cool surface. Luma stood nearby, glowing softly, her energy filling the room with light. We cannot outrun them forever, Koza said quietly. They have bigger ships, more firepower. Rin nodded. Then we have to fight smart. Use every advantage we have, Koza looked at him. Respect in her gaze. You have changed since we met, Rin. You are stronger. Rin smiled. Though his heart was heavy, we all have to be. The enemy ships appeared on the sensors again. They were faster now, cutting through space like hunters closing on prey. Koza pushed Mira harder. The ship shuddered but held together. Rin worked on the shields and weapon systems, rerouting power where needed. Luma interfaced with the ship's AI, helping to anticipate enemy moves. She had become more than a bioshell. She was a vital part of the crew. As the hunters closed in, Koza prepared Mira's weapons. Ready? She said. Rin nodded, gripping the controls. The battle began. Bright beams of energy lit the dark space. Mira dodged and weaved, firing back with precise bursts. Koza's skills as a pilot were unmatched. She moved the ship with grace and speed, using the stars and asteroids as cover. Luma's voice guided Rin. Enemy weapons charging on the left side. Prepare to evade. Rin moved quickly, twisting the ship just in time to avoid a powerful blast. The shields flared but held. The hunters did not give up. They pressed harder. Suddenly, one of the enemy ships launched a missile. Rin saw it too late. The missile hit the hull, shaking Mira violently. Damage in the engine room, Rin shouted. Koza cursed softly. We need repairs. Fast. Rin and Koza worked quickly. Luma stayed in the control room, monitoring the ship's systems and enemy movements. The engine room was a mess. Sparks flew from broken wires. The main power conduit was damaged. Rin's heart pounded as he worked. If this fails, we won't escape, he thought. Koza handed him tools without a word. Their hands moved together, steady and sure. Outside, the hunters were closing in again. Rin tightened the last bolt and checked the power flow. Engine. Stabilizing, he said. Koza smiled briefly. Good, let's get back to the fight. Back in the control room, Rin felt a surge of hope. Luma's presence was stronger now. She had connected deeper with Mira's systems. Luma, Rin said, can you help me target the hunters? Luma's eyes glowed, calculating trajectory and enemy weaknesses. The ship's weapon systems hummed with new energy. Together, they launched a counterattack. Laser beams cut through space, striking enemy ships. The hunters faltered under the sudden assault. Koza laughed quietly. We are not easy prey. Rin nodded, heart pounding with excitement. But then, a warning flashed. Enemy reinforcements arriving. Rin's face grew serious. We can't keep this up much longer. Koza looked at him. There is one chance. Rin waited. Tell me, Koza's voice dropped. There is a hidden starfield nearby. Dangerous, but perfect for hiding. Rin nodded. We can use the terrain to our advantage. Koza smiled. Then let's go. The ship entered the starfield. Bright dying stars filled the space, casting strange light and shadows. Mira moved carefully, dodging meteor fragments and radiation bursts. The hunters followed. But the terrain was hard to navigate. Rin guided the ship through narrow gaps, trusting Koza's instincts. Suddenly, a burst of energy hit the ship. Shields holding, Rin said, voice steady. Koza pushed the engines to full. The hunters struggled to keep up. Finally, after tense minutes, the enemy ships gave up. They fled back into open space, unable to risk damage in the starfield. Silence filled the ship. Rin leaned back, exhausted but relieved. Koza looked at him. You did well. Rin smiled, tiredly. We did well. Luma's voice was soft but clear. We survived. Together. Rin looked at her glowing face. Yes. Together. Later, as the ship rested in a quiet orbit, Rin and Koza spoke quietly. There is something I must tell you, Koza said. Rin listened closely. The secrets I carry, they are dangerous. They could change everything. Rin frowned. What kind of secrets? Koza's eyes grew distant. My people once protected a great power. I disobeyed orders to save lives. Now those in control want to erase me. Rin felt the weight of her words. But why involve me? Why help me find the bioshell? Koza smiled faintly. Because you believe in more than machines and metal. You believe in life. Rin nodded slowly. I want to help you. Koza's eyes softened. Then we will face it all. Together. Days passed. The bond between Rin, Koza, and Luma grew stronger. Luma became more curious about the galaxy. She asked questions about life, love, and freedom. One night, Rin found Luma at the observation window. What do you think of the stars? He asked. Luma smiled. They are full of stories. I want to be part of them. Rin felt hope for the future. But danger was not far away. The hunters sent a new message. Warning they were coming back. Rin looked at Koza and Luma. We must prepare. Koza nodded. Whatever happens, we face it as one. Rin smiled. Yes. Together. The stars stretched out before them. The future was uncertain, but Rin no longer feared it. With Koza's strength and Luma's life, he had found a new family. The chase would continue, but so would their journey. And Rin was ready to fight for all they believed in. The cold silence of space was broken only by the soft hum of Mira's engines. Rin stood at the control panel, watching the starfield ahead. The hunters were closing in again. This time their fleet was larger and better armed. Koza stood beside him, calm but ready. Her eyes were sharp, scanning the sensors for any sign of danger. Luma was near, her glowing form a comforting light in the dim control room. Rin took a deep breath. The moment they had been preparing for was here. "We can't run anymore," Rin said quietly. "We have to face them." Koza nodded. "Then we fight, together." Luma's voice was steady. "I will protect us," Rin smiled at her. Together they had come far. Now it was time to prove their strength. The enemy fleet appeared on the horizon, a dark mass of ships blocking the stars. Their weapons glowed ominously as they prepared to attack. Koza took the pilot's seat, her hand steady on the controls. Rin worked the weapon systems, coordinating with Luma, who interfaced directly with Mira's AI. The battle began. Bright beams of energy cut through space. Mira dodged and twisted, firing back with fierce determination. Koza's flying was perfect, weaving through enemy fire with skill and speed. Rin targeted the largest enemy ships, striking weak points and disrupting their formation. Luma's voice guided them. Enemy shields weakening on the left flank. "Prepare for attack." Rin fired the ship's weapons with precision, and the enemy ship exploded in a burst of light. The other hunters pressed harder, but Mira was ready. The fight raged on. Mira's shields flickered as blasts hit the hull. Rin could hear the hum of the engine struggle under the strain. Suddenly, an alarm blared. "Critical damage in the power core," Rin shouted. Koza's face tightened. "We have to shut it down and restart, or the ship will explode." Rin moved quickly, following emergency protocols. Luma helped, sending power where needed and stabilizing the core. The seconds felt like hours. Finally, the power core rebooted. "We're alive," Rin said, relief flooding him. Koza smiled briefly. "We can win this." The battle reached its peak. The enemy fleet was relentless, but Mira fought with the heart of a living being. Rin noticed something on the sensors. A larger ship, more powerful than the others. "The enemy leader," Koza's voice dropped. "That is the ship hunting me, the one who wants to end us all." Rin looked at her. "What do we do?" Koza's eyes shone with determination. "We face it. Together." As the enemy leader's ship closed in, Mira prepared for the final fight. Rin, Koza, and Luma worked as one. The ship moved with grace, attacking with power. The enemy leader fired a massive blast. Mira's shields cracked. Rin held the controls steady. "We can't hold much longer." Koza smiled fiercely. "Then we end this now." With a sudden burst of speed, Mira charged the enemy ship, weapons firing all at once. The enemy ship shook violently. With one last blast, it exploded in a brilliant flash. Silence returned to space. Rin, Koza, and Luma looked at each other, breathing hard. "We did it," Rin said softly. Koza nodded. "But the fight is not over. There are others who want the bioshell." Luma smiled. "We will face them, together." Rin felt a new hope. They had won this battle, but the journey continued. Later, as the ship drifted near a quiet planet, Rin sat with Koza and Luma. He looked at the glowing figure of Luma. "You have changed my life," he said. Luma smiled warmly. "And you have given me life." Koza looked at them both. "We are more than a crew. We are family." Rin nodded. "Yes. And we will face whatever comes next. Together." The stars shone brightly outside the window. Rin felt peace he had never known. His dream of a Starship bride had come true, but in a way he never expected. Not just a machine, but a living being. Not just a pilot, but a warrior and friend. Together, Rin, Koza, and Luma would explore the galaxy, face danger, and discover new wonders. The stars stretched like silent witnesses as Mira sailed through the endless darkness of space. Rin stood at the observation window, his eyes tracing distant constellations. The battles were behind them for now, but the weight of the past still rested heavily on his shoulders. Koza sat nearby, her gaze steady. She was quiet, but Rin could sense the storm inside her calm exterior. Luma floated gently, her glowing form soft and warm. She seemed more alive than ever, but there was a new curiosity in her eyes, a hunger to understand more about the universe. Where should we go next? Rin asked, breaking the silence. Koza looked at him. There is a place, a hidden world where my people once lived. It may hold answers. About the bioshell and the secrets they want to hide. Luma smiled softly. I want to see it. Rin nodded. Then that is where we go. The journey was long, but the stars were kind. Mira glided through space like a living creature, her systems humming smoothly under the care of Rin and Luma. Koza shared stories of her people, the lost planet, and the great power they once guarded. Rin listened with fascination, eager to understand the truth. As the ship approached the coordinates, the view screen lit up with the image of a strange, beautiful planet. Its surface was covered in deep forests and vast oceans, glowing softly under twin suns. It is real, Koza whispered. Rin smiled. Let's find out what secrets it holds. The ship landed gently on the planet's surface. The air was fresh and filled with unknown scents. Rin, Koza, and Luma stepped outside, feeling the soft grass beneath their feet. The planet was alive with sounds, birds singing, leaves rustling, distant waterfalls. Luma's eyes shone brightly. This place is beautiful, Koza nodded. It was once home to my people. Now it is empty, but it holds the history we lost. They began to explore, following ancient ruins covered in vines. The stones told stories of a civilization advanced and wise, but torn by conflict. Rin touched the carvings carefully. Why did they disappear? Koza's voice was low. They were hunted. For the power they protected. For secrets they kept safe. Luma looked thoughtful. Then our fight is not over. Rin nodded. We must protect what is left. As they explored deeper, the ship's sensors suddenly beeped loudly. Unknown ships approaching, Luma said. Rin's heart tightened. Hunters again. Koza's face hardened. They never stop. Rin looked at the ancient ruins. We must prepare. Use this place to our advantage. The enemy ships landed nearby, dark and menacing against the green landscape. Koza led Rin and Luma through the ruins, finding hidden tunnels and defenses left by her people. Rin marveled at the technology mixed with nature, glowing crystals powering ancient machines, walls that shifted to reveal hidden rooms. Together, they set traps and prepared to defend the planet. Luma interfaced with the ruins, activating old systems to help protect them. When the hunters attacked, they were met with fierce resistance. The ruins came alive, lasers firing from hidden turrets, traps capturing enemy ships. Rin and Koza fought side by side, their skills sharp and fearless. Luma moved quickly, protecting them and controlling the ancient defense systems. The battle was long and hard. The hunters were determined, but the planet's defenses and the crew's courage held strong. Finally, the enemy ships retreated, battered and broken. Rin looked at Koza and Luma, pride shining in his eyes. We did it. Koza smiled softly. This planet is safe. For now. Luma's voice was gentle. But the secrets here are powerful. They must be protected, Rin agreed. We will guard them. Together. As the sun set behind the twin stars, Rin, Koza, and Luma stood on a cliff overlooking the glowing forests. The journey had changed them all. They were no longer just a pilot, a warrior and a bioshell. They were a family bound by trust, hope and courage. Rin looked at his friends, feeling a deep sense of peace. The stars are wide and full of danger, but also full of wonder. Koza nodded. And we will face it all. Together. Luma's eyes shone brightly. Our story is just beginning. The night sky stretched above them, endless and inviting. Rin smiled. No matter what came next, they would face it as one. Together, they would explore new horizons and protect the secrets of the past. Their journey across the stars was far from over, and the future held endless possibilities. The gentle hum of Mira filled the quiet space as the ship drifted away from the glowing planet. Rin stood at the control panel, his eyes reflecting the soft lights of distant stars. The planet they had just left behind was a place of secrets and history, a place that had changed everything for them. Koza was nearby, her face calm but thoughtful. She looked out at the endless darkness, remembering the past and thinking about the future. Luma floated close, her light steady and warm, her curiosity as strong as ever. We learned much, Rin said softly, breaking the silence. Koza nodded. But there are still questions. The hunters will not stop until they find everything. Luma's eyes glowed gently. Then we must be ready. Stronger than before, Rin smiled. And we will be. Together. The days passed slowly as Mira sailed through the stars. Rin and Koza spent their time repairing and improving the ship. Luma studied the ancient data they had recovered from the planet's ruins. The knowledge was vast, filled with mysteries and warnings. One evening, as the ship moved through a quiet asteroid belt, Luma called Rin to the data console. "Look at this," she said, her voice filled with wonder. Rin leaned over and saw images of strange machines and symbols. They were like nothing he had seen before. "These devices could change everything," Luma explained. "They might help us protect the bioshell and even the galaxy." Koza looked at the screen, her eyes narrowing. "But they could also be dangerous. If they fall into the wrong hands," Rin nodded, "then we have to find them first." The search led them to a distant system, where old stars burned cold and silent. The data pointed to an ancient station hidden in the shadows of a dead moon. It was a place forgotten by time, holding technology from a lost age. As Mira approached the moon, Rin felt a mix of excitement and caution. "We don't know what we will find," he said. Koza replied. "But we must face it together," Luma smiled. "I am ready." The ship landed softly on the moon's rocky surface. Outside, the air was thin and cold. The landscape was gray and lifeless, but the station stood tall, a dark monument to the past. Rin, Koza, and Luma stepped out, their boots crunching on the dust. The station's doors were sealed, but ancient energy still pulsed faintly from within. Koza examined the control panel. "This is old technology, but it still works. I can open the doors." With a hiss and a groan, the doors slid open, revealing a dark corridor. The crew entered cautiously, lights cutting through the shadows. Inside the station, the walls were covered with strange symbols and glowing panels. The air was thick with silence, broken only by the soft footsteps of the crew. Luma moved forward, touching the panels and accessing the databanks. "This place holds secrets about the bioshell and my creation," she said. Rin looked at her, surprised. "Your origin is linked to this station?" Luma nodded. "Yes, the bioshells were once part of a great project to protect life in the galaxy. But something went wrong." Koza studied the symbols on the walls. "There are warnings here about power that cannot be controlled." Rin felt a chill. "We must be careful." As they explored deeper, they found a central chamber filled with glowing machines. In the middle stood a large device humming with energy. Luma approached it slowly. "This is the heart of the station," she said. "It contains knowledge and power beyond imagination." Rin looked at the device, fascinated and afraid. "What should we do?" Koza stepped forward. "We need to take what we can, but we must not awaken anything dangerous." Suddenly, the ground shook. Alarms blared throughout the station. Rin shouted, "We triggered something." The walls vibrated as ancient defenses activated. Lights flashed red. Doors slammed shut. Koza grabbed Rin's arm. "We have to move fast." Luma tried to access the control panels. "I'm trying to shut down the defenses." The crew ran through the corridors, dodging energy blasts and traps. The station seemed alive, fighting to protect its secrets. Rin felt fear but kept moving. They reached the central chamber again, where Luma worked furiously. "Almost there," she said. With a final command, the alarm stopped and the doors reopened. Breathing heavily, Rin looked at Koza and Luma. "That was close." Koza nodded. "But we got the data." Luma smiled. "This knowledge will help us protect the bioshell and fight the hunters." Rin felt hope growing inside him. The dangers were real, but so was their strength. As they returned to Mira, Rin thought about the future. "The galaxy is full of challenges," he said. "But we have each other." Koza smiled. "And we will face whatever comes next." Luma glowed brightly. Together. The stars welcomed them as they left the moon behind. Their journey was far from over, but Rin felt ready.